What's up everyone and welcome back to MMA Today. In today's news, we start off with former champion Alexander Volkanovski giving Steve Erceg some advice ahead of his title bout. Erceg is slated to fight Alexandre Pantoja for his flyweight title in the main event of UFC 301.
Soak it up. So you already know what you expect. So it's cool to choose that. The bigger things to worry about than some people doing. Who cares? You know what Big day. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. There you go. Okay, exactly, man. We've got a job to do anyway, so it's just what you focus.
Michael Chandler says Conor McGregor's timing, speed and reflexes won't be what they used to be due to his inactivity.
What I need to work on for this fight is continue to be the best version of myself, maybe a little bit more tactical, realizing that I've earned this, realize that I am the better fighter, I am the tougher fighter, I am the guy who deserves it more, whether that be getting in his face, putting him up against the cage, picking him up, putting him down, wilting his spirit a little bit more, taking the wind out of the sails a little bit more. I don't need to be getting into a firefight with a guy who has got a bigger rifle than me, right? I think I hit harder than he does. I think I would venture to say his time out of the cage has lent itself to his timing not being what it used to be, his movement not being what it used to be, his reflexes not being what they used to be. He's being out of the cage now for it'll be 3 years by the time we fight. So I'm just gonna, from the first exchange, hit him with big punches, make him second guess himself, keep my hands up a little bit more than I have in the past, pick him up, put him down if I want to, choke him if I want to, go out there and get the finish and just absolutely outclass and dominate him because I've deserved this and I've earned this.
Daniel Cormier said he would like to see Jon Jones stick around and fight the younger fighters. He also said the thought of any current heavyweight contenders competing with Jon Jones in his prime is laughable.
It doesn't matter who fights for the belt, right? Because he's not going to be there to fight the next guy. The most that we got from Jones in regards to him potentially fighting Tom Aspinall was when Tom walked up to him at that event, kind of grabbed him by the arm. Jon was like, keep doing your work and then we'll see what happens down the line. But there is no clear indicator that Jon is going to stick around and fight these young guys. I would love to see it. I would love to see him in there with Aspinall. I would love to see him in there with guys like, not Tsarukyan because we know how that played out, but guys like Curtis Blades and guys like Jailton Almeida, guys that have the ability to try and push him. Because here's the deal, Chael. You and I could probably agree on this, right? In Jon Jones's prime, Tom Aspinall, Jailton Almeida, Curtis Blades, Tsarukyan, all these guys, it would almost be laughable the thought that they could compete against him, right? But it doesn't seem like he's in his prime anymore. So I would like to see him compete against those young guys as he starts to kind of filter out of his prime, to see if they can compete with him. Because as he has taken a step, these guys are phenomenal. So I believe that him sticking around would be good. But first, Aspinall has to defend the interim championship. Like you said, we very rarely get that.
The New York State Athletic Commission scheduled a hearing on Tuesday for both Arman Tsarukyan and Diego Lopes to discuss the withholding of their UFC 300 purse. As reported by MMA junkie reporter Nolan King via X, the New York State Athletic Commission took issue with Diego Lopes jumping over the cage in celebration of his UFC 300 victory against Sodiq Yusuff and are withholding his purse, pending a hearing. The commission are also withholding the purse of Arman Tsarukyan. MMA junkie reporter John Morgan confirmed via X that this is related to an incident that happened with a fan as Arman was walking out to his fight against Charles Oliveira at UFC 300. Leon Edwards' coach says Belal Muhammed was looking for a way out against Leon Edwards in their first fight. In an interview with TalkSport, he said, "If the eye poke never happened, I believe Leon would have finished him in the second round the way the fight was going." To me, analysing the fight, looking back at it, Belal was looking for a way out. He was looking to steal a decision because that eye poke, right? And the noise he made, literally crying and screaming, you've heard it for yourself. The world heard it. It's funny that he didn't have to go to the hospital. He didn't have any eye damage. He didn't have to go to the hospital to get his eye tested. What does that tell you? Tried to steal a decision, but payback is a bitch. We'll see. Belal Muhammed responded to these comments via X. He said, "Remember this statement after round 4 and Leon is looking to you for your motivational speech after I've slapped him around for 20 minutes. Anthony Smith doubles down on his analysis on Alex Pereira. Earlier this week, Anthony Smith faced backlash from the MMA community for his comments on UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira's skill set. In an interview with Damon Martin on MMA Fighting, Anthony Smith explains his analysis with a little more detail.
Whether he and I have this thing back and forth or not, I'm very honest about my analysis of him. And everything that I've said, I stand by. Like, that's just the fight game. Like, he has caught lightning in a bottle. And I don't mean that as like he's getting lucky, because he's not. He's a legitimate threat and he's a legitimate danger. But because of the matchups and some circumstances, like Jan Blachowicz is a much better mixed martial artist. He proved that in the first round. I don't think he adjusted to the altitude of Salt Lake City, because then he was gassed and was kind of reserved to standing in front of Alex after that because he couldn't get a takedown because he was tired. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, I'm not knocking Alex for that. I think he did a great job staying safe. I thought that he showed a little bit of improvement in his grappling. But he had a top 5 light heavyweight on his back for almost 5 minutes. How many other light heavyweights on it does Magomed Ankalaev get out of that first round? You know, like in that same position? Probably unlikely. You know what I mean? Like, is there like, if I'm on your back for that amount of time, do you get out of the first round? Probably not. Like, let's just stop all the. Let's just be honest. If I'm Jan Blachowicz, do I finish in that position? 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Hooks in against the fence, you're belly down. I'm taking home $50,000 extra. That is happening. If Magomed Ankalaev gets to that same position, that's happening. I can give you 5 other light heavyweights that will get to that position. Jan Blachowicz isn't necessarily known as a submission finisher. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He does very well on the ground, but he's not a prolific finisher on the ground, and that's fine. I think that Alex Pereira did a great job in that position, and I think that he did what he had to do in the second and third round, very, very tired at altitude, to get the win.
And that's all for today's news. Leave a comment letting us know what you think. The top comments will be featured in our next video. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest MMA stories. Have a great day, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Hey, are you still there?